Hey folks, welcome on. Today, Sam and I are here to talk about the brand new KendoReact free release and to do kind of an introduction to the world of KendoReact for folks that maybe haven't heard of us before, maybe are jumping in now as part of the KendoReact free challenge that we will also talk about a little bit. So there's lots of big exciting news over here and I'm excited to jump in. Let's see. I see some friends already in chat. Hey, Bindle, welcome back.
So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us here. We are actually, by here, we mean quite a few places because we are in our usual channels, plus we are on DEV.to. Exciting times. So maybe quick intros. Catherine, who are you? You are famous.
Yeah, right. Well, I am Catherine Grayson Nance. I am the Senior Design and Developer Advocate at Progress Software. I mostly work with our KendoReact product and with our design tools. So we'll talk a little bit about that today as well. The theme builder, our Figma UI kits, all the stuff you can do to make what you build with our components super beautiful, super well styled, easily customized, all of the above. What about you, Sam? Who are you? What do you do here?
I'm an old man, and I am desperately trying to hang with the cool kids and learn some new tricks. But no,
you're in the wrong place here with me. I cannot help you.
Like Catherine, I also do developer advocacy for lots of our developer tooling, but I do come from a .NET background. Do just enough JavaScript to be dangerous. I am in learning mode, forever learning mode for anything design, because my aesthetic sense is just not there. So I'm always trying to learn. Okay, so you have done React for a long time, and you have, obviously you're passionate about KendoReact. So tell us a little bit about what is KendoReact prior to this, and then where are things today?
So KendoReact is a React UI component library. We have over 120 components at this point and still growing. We have releases 3 times a year, major releases 3 times a year, and then minor releases all the time, really. So we're constantly adding new components, new features, new integrations. We always have day 0 support with whatever's going on with React whenever they decide to surprise drop a new version for us like they did at the end of last year. So it's been really fun. Before I worked at Progress, I used to build custom component libraries for companies. And I will tell you, this is a lot easier. 10 out of 10, big fan of not having to do that. So, but yeah,
it's, it's as developers, like I think we are sometimes tuned to challenge ourselves. Let's go build this next thing until you realize you have deadlines, and what you're building, you're going to sign up for a lot of maintenance going forward. So it helps to not reinvent the wheel, especially on the UI front. Okay, so that's KendoReact, but what did we do last week? What's big and exciting?
Oh, you're gonna let me do the big news? Lucky me. Well, Sam, we introduced a free version of our library. So historically, KendoReact
Drum rolls,
right? Can we get some fireworks, something big? I just launched right in. You were right. A moment of appreciation for the free library. But yeah, previously we have been a commercial library. We've been around for, I want to say 7 or 8 years, which is like an eternity in web dev time. I know that's like nothing to you .NET folks, but this is ancient. This is elder. We are learned. And for the first time, we are sharing these super high quality enterprise grade components with everybody. Yeah, Bindle in here. Did she just call us old? No, called
actually,
all of us old.
So why this is a big deal, at least for me, is I had seen the history. Like I started when Kendo UI was first born off the jQuery days. This is like 2011-ish timeframe. So yeah, that is ancient. And just the nature of web dev as it is, as things have evolved. We started with Kendo UI for jQuery. And sorry, you were going to say something.
Oh no, I was just say things move so fast.
So quick, yeah.
It
so
moves, yeah.
we essentially had to rediscover Kendo UI because essentially these are components that we want to render, but we don't want abstractions. We don't want shims. So we had essentially had to rewrite Kendo UI 4 times over now. Once for Angular, once for React, for Vue, and the jQuery one is still out there for folks who are doing it. So this is 12, 15 years of evolution.
Yeah, that's true. We are technically older than 7 years old if you count the very first iteration of KendoReact, which was a wrapper around our jQuery components. Because sometimes people will ask me that, especially like at the booth at conferences and stuff, they'll be like, is this, does this wrap around, whatever?
Yep.
And it's like, no, we build all of these natively in their own frameworks. And we do it because we tried it the other way and we did not like it. So
exactly.
Again, voice of experience. Thindle's helping us out. Thindle's doing my job for me by putting the link to our KendoReact UI library here in the comments. Shout out, Thindle. Thank you, man.
Thank you. So let's just say I am sold on React and I am starting out. And again, people come in different modes. Maybe you're a college student. Maybe you're just tinkering by yourself. Maybe you're wanting to build a quick little website for your local bakery shop, right? Or you might be building a true enterprise grade app for, with 100 other developers. So there are, a variety of needs. So how do I get started with KendoReact? And is this a way for me to get going quickly?
Yes. So the free version is a great way to kind of dip your toe in. We have taken half of our total components and made them completely free. So again, we have a little over 120 and we've made just about 60. I think it's technically like 59. I keep laughing because everywhere
so close
I see
to 60.
We write 50 plus everywhere in the marketing, and it's because we are just a hair short of having 60, which would have been really nice. But yeah, you kind of hit on the big stuff. Let me see if I can. There we go. I have a little overview here of what we are. So KendoReact, we are customizable, right? We are heavy on the design emphasis, which is part of why I love it so much. Right? If you don't want to get in there and do the design work yourself, then we have pre-made themes that match big existing design systems like Fluent, Material, and Bootstrap. You can put those in place, easy peasy, pick one of the pre-made color palettes that our design team has put together, and you don't have to do any CSS at all. You just done. Have something that looks really professional, really polished right out of the box. But if you are like me and you want to get in there and make all those little bitty changes and really get your hands dirty, we've got tools for that too. So if you're starting with a team of designers or you yourself are a designer, then our Figma UI kits offer a exact one-to-one replica of every component in our library. So you can do your high quality mockups, you can do prototyping. It helps you understand all the interaction options. So you can do user testing and do these really gorgeous mockups and have a full understanding of exactly what your developers are going to be building with later. We also have the theme builder. Ooh, were you going to jump in? Sorry, I didn't.
No, I was just going to say this serves both my needs. If I am just trying to create something on my own and I don't have access to a designer, you're giving me a good starting point. But if I'm in an enterprise environment and I do have, mockups and prototypes that our design team has put together, they can start on their own, and then I can import and I can have high fidelity way of replicating that same design.
Exactly. It's a real choose your own adventure approach to application building, right? Which I think is really nice because, the 2 developers, 3 opinions, right? Everyone wants to try something new, do it their own way. They've got patterns, they've got things that they're used to. And I feel like KendoReact is really flexible, which is nice. You're not locked in. We're not terribly opinionated, which I feel like is a downside of working with a lot of other component libraries. But anyway, theme builder. I was excited to talk about theme builder, which is our WYSIWYG styling tool. So it will let you go in, make changes, No CSS required. There is a code editor if you want to get in and just like fine tune something, which I will do sometimes because I'll be like, man, I know exactly how to do this in CSS. But I also know that I am the minority in really loving to write CSS. I didn't know that that was weird for a long time. And now, especially doing all these conferences and stuff, I'm like, but it's the best. And everyone's like, have you lost your mind? But anyway, Theme Builder is great for that. It's a great hub for your technical, non-technical folks to all kind of collaborate together, make sure everything is looking, feeling exactly how you like, and then you can export CSS and Sass from there, drop it right into the application. Easy breezy, beautiful. We would have taken that tagline, but someone else had already taken it. Wow. We are also super accessible, which is crazy important right now with the European Accessibility Act just around the corner. Is it 3 months away, right? Is it June or July?
June. Yeah.
Okay.
June.
I knew it was summer and I was trying to remember which month. So the clock is ticking on getting in line in time for the European Accessibility Act. And all of our components are accessible right out of the box. So
this is big because this takes a lot of engineering, a lot of effort. And I mean, as we all know, like accessibility isn't just about, compliance. And it's great that we do have mandates, but, without us thinking about this, we want our app to have the maximum reach, most number of folks who can use it. And it's just not the equitable experience if we don't think about this. So it's nice to have UI where, American Disabilities Act or European Accessibility Act, those are, things that we have already thought through.
Yep. Yeah, the keyboard navigation is really impressive. And we do manual testing with screen readers as well, which I know is not something that everybody does, but we will get in there and make sure that it works. We're not just running automated tests, checking a box. We're taking it quite seriously. So, and finally, KendoReact is professionally maintained. I think this is actually really cool. And it's something that I'm actually really proud of about us, that we support a team of dedicated React developers who build and maintain this library, because the work is not easy and our dev team works really hard. And I think it's awesome that they get paid what they're worth. So it makes me very happy to be able to say that, like, yep, we have a team of devs that we take good care of. And that means also that we get a regular release cadence, right? New components, new features, new integrations, bug fixes. We're constantly hearing feedback from our users, integrating that into our roadmap. And it also means that we can offer amazing support, both through our forums and through, if you choose to exit the KendoReact free and bump up into the KendoReact premium library, then you do have our full support team, which is managed and maintained by the same folks that write the library. So,
yeah, good point. I mean, we all love free stuff, but there's something to be said about dependability and responsibility, and making sure that our library isn't just going to go, off the planet and just die. This is well supported.
Well, and the React community especially knows that, right? Because we just saw Create React app depreciated after years of kind of abandonment and are we still using this? Are we not? For years, that was the standard for getting an app up and going. And, all of a sudden, not so much. So yeah, having something that has a full team behind it, and KendoReact free kind of lets you get the best of both worlds, right? You get half, basically, of this full library. It's professionally maintained, completely free. And if you find yourself needing some of those like heavy hitting components, our data visualizations, our spreadsheet, our PDF uploader, some of that stuff, the premium library is always here for you, but you don't have to start there. So let's say that this amazing overview has convinced you. And you say, forget my old library. I'm devoted to KendoReact now. Where do I start? Sign me up. Good news, you don't actually have to sign up. You can just get started.
So no strings attached.
No strings attached. So no trials, no signups, no licenses, no accounts. You can just npm install and start using the KendoReact free components. Although, of course, that will be easier if you check out our docs. So we have some great getting started guides. In a minute, we're going to walk through our quick start with our CLI to get both a Vite and a Next.js project off the ground. Sam and I will walk through that together. And then I think Sam's got some wizardry that he wants to show us in terms of getting things ready for mobile, right?
Yeah, and desktop, because I'm old. Old people do desktop apps. But I think something that you had said earlier is important, that while we have opinions, we don't want to, push them down on anybody. We want to be unopinionated in terms of how you build your React apps. So bring your library, bring your tools, bring however you want to get started. We want to cater to exactly how you build it.
Yep. That is also one of the most common questions I get, like at booths and stuff, is like, does this work with X? Does this work with whatever, Next or Vite or Wahoo or name your framework of choice? And the answer is yes. Our team has worked really hard to make sure that we have integrations, and there's a whole getting started guide. We'll look at the docs in just a minute and you'll see the expansiveness of our getting started guides. But yeah, we've made that path pretty darn easy, I think.
Yeah, no judgment, but again, coming from a .NET background, you have way too many ways of doing the same thing. But it's all good, whatever makes you comfortable.
Well, I think, right, that's kind of, I think it's hard for non-React folks to get it, but that's the appeal of React, I think, for a lot of folks, is that we are a library and not a framework, speaking technically. Right. So if you wanted the batteries included approach, there are other frameworks out there that are really great for that, like Angular, which I do actually really like. But React has always had a bit of that independent, roll your own, piece together exactly the parts that you want kind of approach. And I think KendoReact fits really well with that. Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah. Oh, I want to call this out really quick. We have an example project that we have built. So if you want to go see a really practical example of what this looks like in an application, check out our project tracker page template. And for any of you who are not joining from DEV.to and don't know about this yet, you still have time. You can put together an application. We are asking folks to build something using 10 of our free components, and that will enter you into a $3,000 grand prize running. So not too bad. Just one little React app. You could bring home some serious cash money.
I'm reminded of those memes with Tom Cruise, show me the money. Here's the money. it's a good chunk of change. So you're saying I could head out to Dev.to, look at all the details of this challenge, go get KendoReact free, build something hopefully fun, hopefully something useful, and include 10 of these, and then you're going to judge me?
Yeah, well, a little bit. I'm going to judge you.
Because you have to decide who wins.
Just a little bit. But yeah.
So that's a $3,000 prize. Okay.
And two $1,000
what's that for?
Well. Yeah, so if you build an app that integrates AI, so if you want to do something that interfaces with ChatGPT, or there's a really cool one. I'm trying to remember. I've seen some entries already as they're getting posted, and there's some really neat ones. There was one that was reading the labels off of food items and analyzing them with AI, which was really neat. That gets you up and running for the $1,000. I don't know what you would call it. It's not a sub prize, additional prize. And a second additional prize for folks that create something really beautiful using our styling tools. So if you build something, you use Theme Builder, or you make something in Figma with our UI kits and then convert that, that puts you in the running for our delightfully designed additional $1,000 prize. So altogether, $5,000 of prize money we're giving away, and a couple different ways to go about it, and 3 more days to build and enter your app. So
yeah, exciting stuff. I'm going to try doing all 3. I'm going to do design and throw in some AI.
That gives you your best bet. Yeah, yeah.
Just give me all the money then.
Oh, yeah. I don't think one person can win all three, but I like where your head is at. I like that drive. That's a good hustle. But the real truth is, if you do something that includes all three, you do have the best chances, right? Because then you're entered into all three categories. So even if you can't win, multiple, you could then win any of the one, you know what I mean? I'm not articulating this well.
No, you got it.
Coffee. So I wanted to hop over real quick. We're looking at the KendoReact docs right now. And a little bit earlier, I was hyping up our getting started guide, right? Which is over here. And all of our integrations that we've got, right? So VS Code extensions. I've got the Next.js one pulled up here. We're going to walk through that. Vite, which is my personal favorite way to start up a React project, since we're, saying controversial things on the air. And right, but also if you like Astro, got stuff with .NET Core, if you're still using Create React App, like we've got support. So if you're coming at this brand new, if you're coming at this with a legacy project, easy to get started to integrate us. So speaking of which, let's do it. I'm going to pull up my terminal and make it big enough maybe for people to see.
There you go. That's better.
Is that?
Yep.
Okay, there we go. I said my eyesight is so bad. We'll make it really big for people like me. Been wearing glasses since forever. And let's get a little like half and half action happening over here. So I'm going to start us off with a Next.js project using our Kendo CLI, which makes it, again, super easy to get going. So I have already installed the global CLI here. But that's the first step, right? You just copy this, get it in. So and that gives you access to the CLI that will work for all of these things that we're going to show next, right? And then it really is as easy. All right, you tell me, are you a TypeScript person, Sam, or are you so outside the JavaScript universe that you don't have an opinion?
I don't have a strong opinion.
Ooh, interesting. I think, let's say TypeScript. Let's do TypeScript. And I do want to add a theme to this. So I'm going to add the default theme. I'm going to learn how to copy and paste. And then I'm going to add the default theme, right? So all we did was grab from here. I grabbed the TypeScript project with routing. God, if you're not using the routing that's built into Next.js, why are you even using Next.js? That feels like the best part. And I grabbed our default theme, hit go, and it's going to walk me through. I thought it was going to.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. It's done.
That's pretty fast, right? Oh, I'm clicking 20 million windows instead. So now,
I'm at the edge of my seat to see what ID or code editor you're going to use.
Oh, VS Code. Great. And just like that, right, I've got, here, see if we can get this a little bigger too. It's already created for me a full application here. All the sources I need, right? My global CSS file has already been populated. Page is ready. It's already imported our button and our card and our styles. So we're just going to do a quick start. Did I forget how to start things in Next.js because I don't use it often? Is it npm run dev?
Yeah.
Everyone's a little bit different. Yeah, there we go. And as mentioned, I'm a Vite girly. So thinking, building, grabbing our packages. Great, but it took 2 seconds to just start up and then we're ready to code. No time at all. So, this part, of course, is the fun and exciting part, where it is going to prepare the demo app that will not look very exciting. So what would you enter into this hackathon, Sam? You were like, I would do something that does all three. That was bold words.
Yeah, like now I'm questioning the design part of it because, or maybe I could because it's, gives me the help. But I mean, are you even real these days if you're not doing AI? Like you have got to check a box, right? That I did some AI. So yeah, something AI maybe.
Yeah, it's a good thought. But since you mentioned design, this feels like a good excuse to show off Theme Builder a little bit. Yeah. It makes it really easy, even if you're not feeling particularly design inclined. I had this one open earlier. This was a project I was working on a few months ago, right? And I just made some quick little changes. No big deal.
I like the color swatches, yeah, and it shows you all the UI.
Yeah. So you can, I like the live preview because that lets you see, it lets you like really quickly test like hover states, and you can like open things up and try everything out exactly how it will work forever, because sometimes you don't think about, if you have to open something, then you maybe don't see what this color is. It's hard to check all of that. But because you can mess with all of the previews live here, click them, change how everything works, it just gets everyone on the same page. It makes sure everything is exactly how you want, so that you don't approve something in like a static mock-up and then it's like, oh, but we wanted the button hover color to do something else. Like, nope, you saw it all here.
What I also like is the things that get verbose is if you just click on a button and then all the visual states and all the different things that go into each individual one, that's what we call like an advanced edit. And now you really get behind the scenes of every nitty-gritty thing about that UI control.
Right. So yeah, I think it's nice that you get all right. What's your normal? What's your hover? What's your active? Everything. Mm-hmm. Ooh, another friend in the chat. Hey, Napalm.
Hey, Napalm. So once you're done, you just hit one button to say export. Just give me the good stuff.
Oh yeah, just export all. It'll think a little bit too, since we're in the mode where we're just waiting for everything. Ooh, this actually might be ready.
I'm just, just taking it all in. Like, what are the tools that a modern JavaScript developer uses? I have not used Arc, so I'm just feeling very left out, but I'm trying to learn.
Of course, there would be something missing when I do this on camera. That's how it works. Can't resolve React transition. So I'm just missing an install. But anyway, swap back over. Yeah, I
do you
think
want to show DEV.to, which is where?
Yeah, we'll do your fast.
Yeah.
So over here to our DEV.to section. Start a new tab. A fresh start. And I do want to use our CLI again, right? Because that's just can't beat that. Oh, I forgot to change the sample name. Hold on. It's going to get mad at me because I named the last one my KendoReact. This one can be my test Kendo app. We had somebody join, says, hey, this seems interesting. Will this be on YouTube later? Yep, absolutely. So you can find our YouTube channel. We are Kendo UI on YouTube. Great. Yeah.
So while Catherine is building, for folks who are wanting to participate in the DEV.to challenge, all you have to do is build something, and then DEV.to has a template where you can post exactly what your app is about. Put that up on DEV.to. That way you are sharing it with the world, and Catherine and the team of folks who are going to do the judging have a very clear view into what your app is and what it does, and maybe hopefully you win the money.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice, right? Install everything and see if my dependencies actually work too. Yeah. So this is the one that I just made with Vite. Popped that open in VS Code. And again, kind of same deal, right? We've got our whole project ready and started. We can already see, right? We've got imports for a handful of our most usual, most popular components, I would say. So the card, the app bar, just a little like getting started so that you can see an example.
I was just going to point out, like, I do like the SVG imports. They're so much nicer for everything.
Yes, very much so. There we go.
Oh, now you're up.
Now
it says, like, now it's up and running.
Yeah, here we go.
Is. Oh, you have a dark theme to start with.
This is our Vite getting started, right? So, and it links you to some of our like most common things here. So if you want to see our docs, our virtual classroom where you can get some walkthroughs, some deep dive stuff from our videos and our learning library, our design system docs, which are one of my faves, right? Full design system kit over here to walk you through our approach to color spacing, typography, iconography, and how you can override all of it if you want to do your own thing. Full breakdowns of all of our components, how they work, what you can customize, where you find that, as well as things like our variable library. So if you do want to get in and do the CSS all yourself, we've got all of that listed. All that, right? And if you do want to use the premium library, how to activate your license, but not required. You can use our free components. As you can see, right, we've got buttons and a couple other things. What else is in here? The app bar along the top. Which one is my Vite one? Yeah, the app bar, the cards there along the bottom, the buttons, of course. But yeah, it took all of 5 minutes, I think, to get up and going with the sample app. So
yeah,
really can't beat that.
Question. So I'm building an app for my local bakery. I want to see what's included in KendoReact Free. What's the stuff that I can have? So is that listed clearly in the docs?
Oh yeah. So let's swap back over. If you open up our components, you can see some of them are marked with this little diamond icon. That means premium. So everything that does not have a little diamond next to it is all yours for the low price of nothing at all. That includes stuff like our data grid, right? Like, and a bunch of our big inputs. Yeah, man. Inputs and labels and everything you would need, really, especially.
I like the layouts. I like the list box. Yeah, that's a lot. I like animations up top.
Animations, and you're giving me
giving me a grid. That's cool. It's very cool.
So the grid is really nice. That's our crown jewel, if you will, because the data grid is super powerful, right? And really the only thing there's, in full disclosure, we have part of the grid is in the premium library, and that's mostly the server component stuff. So if you are doing some really heavy lifting, like moving some big data around in a React app and you want to leverage React components and like SSR stuff, that you will need the boost. But literally everything else, all your filtering, paging, sorting, like this is a hefty grid. Like,
yeah. My bakery doesn't need it. I just need to list out a bunch of types of scones and how to filter and sort them. I'm good.
Right? Yeah. Right. You might need it. You never know. It corrects you because I think our demo in here is like a restaurant thing. So yeah, see,
there we go. Yeah,
you can manage your orders and your pricing and everything in here for your bakery. It seems totally fair.
And then once the bakery grows up to be a chain, I can just activate the license and get everything.
Yeah. That's the other thing that I think is really nice is that, like, yeah, if you build it and you're fine at the free tier forever, that's great. Honestly, genuinely, hooray. If at some point in the future there is something that you you want from the premium library, you don't have to change anything from what you've already built, right? You just add the license and then you can add more components on top. But that's just activating the license is not super hard. And you don't have to change any of the code that you've already written. So it really grows with you in a way that I think is super nice. Because otherwise there's nothing worse than refactoring legacy code.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned a sample app. Can I tinker around? Can I get inspired?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can even fork it on GitHub and use it to make your own app. So
where do I see it? Is it listed in the docs?
Yes.
Sorry to put you in the spot, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I just had to.
The project tracker app, right?
So the project tracker, yep, the project tracker is the one that we built using all free components. So I believe it is also a Vite app. So if you're looking for specifically a Vite example, this one is great. We also have tons of others over here that will show all kinds of other stuff, right? So like the grid with live data or some like heftier dashboards. These are still, you can still totally use them, get into GitHub, fork them, play with them. They will include some premium components. So you can play with those and see how you like them, or you can, kick them out, make your own thing. So no shame either way. But yeah, there's a whole variety of, right? We have an e-commerce one and a finance one, another restaurant one. So you could maybe fork this one for your bakery and just do a find and replace on coffee and swap for scones or something.
So there's a live preview of the app, right? That's hosted?
Oh yeah. Yep. All of them. So let me actually
Can you click and you show?
Yes.
Oh, there's the live project tracker app.
Right. So this is
this is nice.
Yeah, isn't this nifty?
And all of this is built with free components.
Entirely free components.
Nice.
Yep.
There's inspiration. So there's a grid right up front. I can see buttons. I can see other things. Like that looks like a list view. I like the rounded things next to each name. That looks like a card view. I saw a calendar type thing, input controls.
Inputs in our dialog box here, the pop-up. So, the app bar along the top, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
So, some really nice examples of what you can build without having to pay anything at all. Just hop in and start, right? I mean, you watch me do it with the CLI, nothing. No fiddling with licensing files or account making or any of that. Just grab and go. Right. And the same thing here. If you wanted it, you can hop over to our GitHub.
Oh, so the source code is out there. So
the whole,
I can fork it. I can start from there. Yeah,
right.
Nice.
And each one will give kind of a different common example. So, this one is a common combination: React, TypeScript, Vite, like super common tools. Almost certainly a very practical application. So easy.
I mean, easy as soon as I get over the initial bumps of what is ESLint, what is Vite, what is TypeScript, then I'm good to go.
Yes.
But I'm not, so I'm not your typical audience.
If you're starting JavaScript from scratch, there will be some training wheels that you'll need.
But it's all nicely documented, so I can learn.
Yes, actually. And our knowledge base is really good for that kind of stuff, for getting up and going super fast. And as somebody told me once when I was first learning React, JSX is basically just HTML. So, start there and you can learn everything else as you need. That was, I had a manager tell me that once when I was making the jump from doing like static websites to full applications. He was like, you'll be fine. It's basically HTML. It was kind of a lie, but I appreciated his vote of confidence.
Okay, so
I was gonna say you had something you wanted to show, right? So
we can dive in. Are you sure you want to give me the reins? Like, you have a cool audience here, a young audience. Are you sure you want to let an old man drive?
Yes,
right, we can try.
Because I want to turn React apps that I build into desktop apps. That sounds incredibly cool. Or mobile, right? Because then I can start to put stuff in the App Store. Like, what?
Okay, so before we go there, just to kind of maybe recap, like if I did a search on KendoReact free, like where would I land, and why are we doing this? Like we are sharing the love here, right?
Yeah. So I should have kept my screen sharing.
Sorry,
Right.
yeah, I asked you just as you brought down your screen.
So if you search us up, this is what you'll find, right? This is the link that Thindle so generously shared for us earlier, right? Telerik.com KendoReact UI. And you can see here, right, you've got kind of two options off the bat. If you know exactly what you want the full library, all the bells and whistles you can buy now, but for everybody else, just start. Yep, right here, as I joked, all of our 50 plus to say that we have 58. Because basically 60 they decided was too long for copy. But that will give you a rundown. You can see live examples of some of our most beloved components kind of here on the main screen. Play around with them, and then a full list down below. All right, our design approach, and then a list of all of our components, right? And as we talked about, easy, very clear distinctions of what you get for free, and what requires the bump up into the full library. So.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so let's see if I can share my screen, right? I actually had gotten logged out of the streaming platform, so let me see if I have tech hurdles trying to share screen.
That's always how it goes. Things are great until you're doing them in public or on stage or on live stream.
Yeah, because like the Chrome forgets permissions. Okay, no, I think it did remember. Okay, so we are
cool
good.
Desktop background. Man.
Yeah. Okay, so now you're seeing my screen. Okay, yes. So I went to Docs. Once you told me that KendoReact is free, I went straight to Docs. Like, how do I get going with this, right? So I landed up here. Let's go get started. And I saw quite a few things, which is fine. Like you're giving me flexibility to get started, which is all good. But I wanted to go with the easiest thing first, because like I come from my .NET background. I want to be cool like a hacker doing CLI, but I like my visual stuff. So I saw a VS Code extension. I'm like, yes, I don't have to type. I can just get by. Okay, so that's where I started. So I was playing around with it, but let's start from scratch. And then if I run into issues, I can show you what I was playing around with. So here is VS Code. You probably don't want that. Here is VS Code, the same editor that you will get on Windows, Mac, and for all three of you using Linux as your desktop, power to you, it's the same editor, right? So in here are certain fun things that you may want to get. I don't know if you have this, Catherine. This is one that I swear by. It is called, where is it? It's called the material icon theme. It just puts like, it recognizes files very well, like every type of file, and it just gives me a nice color-coded way of recognizing what it is.
I don't have that. However, I thought you were going to push I thought you were going to be like, our Kendo productivity tools.
I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. So here's my .NET stuff, which I like, but then here is Kendo UI productivity tools. So no matter what type of Kendo UI you're using, maybe you come from jQuery or Angular or React or Vue, this is for you. This is one extension that does everything. So no matter what type of Kendo UI you're using, you will have snippets. You'll have code editors and a nicer starting point for almost all types of apps. So again, watch how it spells out exactly what it is. And here are your project templates. Because again, I want a good starting point. Don't make me create things from scratch when I don't have to, right? So right up here, I get a nice starting point. So I know how to do it for Angular and React and Vue. So get this. This is going to make life so much easier. So let's actually go in here and bring up our command palette for the .NET or the older people in the room like me. I did a Command-Shift-P or whatever is your shortcut, or you can just do, look up the palette. So here is my Kendo UI template wizard. All right. What this does is, it brings everything that Catherine was talking through just, in my VS Code as a template, so I can get started. Now, I do have a whole bunch of other products which I don't want to get into. I just want to do KendoReact. Now, before I do that, let's give it an output path of where to save. Let's just do desktop. That's fine. We're going to name this maybe KRF for KendoReact Free. So now you could do Angular, Vue, or other things, but notice how when you do KendoReact, it says, hey, you can do one of these two. Do you want KendoReact Free, or do you want the full KendoReact library? I'm doing my bakery app, so I'm good with the KendoReact Free. And down here, it says, no license key required, because I'm doing the free stuff. Like, I do have licenses for everything else, so it can pull it in if I'm doing other stuff for free.
But you don't need it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need it. Now, here is where I get thrown these words that don't have a meaning to me. I don't know what Astro or Vite is, but I keep hearing about Next. So I think Catherine showed you Vite, so I'm going to go with Next.js. Then I'm also thrown more words that I don't understand, like ESLint. I understand, like I need to lint my JavaScript. This one I definitely do want to have checked because it brings in all of KendoReact that I need.
Can you zoom
Source
in a little,
directory.
Sam?
As what?
You zoom in a bit. I
zoom in. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
I get
Didn't mean to interrupt
source. No. It's all good. I struggle, but I like my real estate. So I have things really small font, and then I'm squinting all the time. But, you have to look cool. Okay. So app router, you're saying this is a must, right? Because without this,
I think so. Yeah.
What is it? It's like navigation between pages?
Yeah. Because React is an SPA, so it just handles all that routing stuff for you.
Okay. So it's going to tell you Node, NPM, looks like I have most of it. JavaScript, TypeScript, I don't mind. And here are my themes. So maybe I'll do Bootstrap just to change things up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So I choose all of them. Yeah. And then I hit create. So it's going to spin up everything. So again, I'm not having to do command line if I don't want to. Let's see. Are you seeing my whole window? Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's open it up in VS Code. Okay. So now here is my app that just got spun up. Here is my source, and it's got everything that you expect. It gave me a grid. Looks like this is the KendoReact grid. It's got the TSX in there, favicons, index HTML. Everything is in there. So this all got created in my desktop. So here's the file, and here's the project. So everything is good. So I think now I can go and pull up a terminal without even looking at the code, because I don't understand the code. What do I have to do? Is it npm run dev, right?
Yeah. You may have to do an install first. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I was thinking back to like what was my mistake, and I was like, oh, I didn't install anything. That would do it. We have some new folks in the chat.
Hey, hello.
Says hello and asks, is this Telerik controls?
So I'm they're related, but I come from the Telerik world, but I'm dabbling into JavaScript and React components here. So similar idea. Telerik UI is for all things .NET. Kendo UI is for all things JavaScript. Okay, this new project, and again, I don't have all the bits included. I see it's doing stuff.
Yeah, it's putting your node modules in. It's installing all your dependencies.
Okay. Zero vulnerabilities. Is this like half the internet brought down to my desktop? Oh, no,
yeah, pretty much.
Not so much. Okay. All right. And then I was looking up.
Fuel says we should just be vibe coding and not.
Oh, geez. Yeah. So what was I trying to do? So how do I run this? So if I go in here, maybe npm run dev, right?
Yeah.
And this is all in the. Okay. So I did the npm install. Okay.
Maybe this one is npm start. I don't know. Stuff.
Oh, there it is. It's up. Okay. Localhost 3000. There you go. So localhost 3000, and I did pick Bootstrap as my design system. There it is. Okay, and even Chrome is not showing me the whole window. There it is now. Okay, so compared to Catherine, who's cool and starts with the dark theme, I like my bright colors hitting my eyes, so I'm blinded. So I have all white. And here's KendoReact, right? So it tells me all about Next.js. Go try this, get the docs, get that and this. This is what perked my interest, because you are giving me a grid right here. So this is a full-on KendoReact grid, and I can pull up my bakery list items. I can have them sorted, filtering. That's nice. And then I can also export. This is sweet because then here's the exported data right out in a PDF file. This is nice. Yeah. So, just a few clicks. I have no understanding of what Next.js is doing, what configuration I'm doing, but I have an app and it's working. However, I did see one thing that I needed to do. So I have this app now. Let's say I show it off to my customers, and my customers are happy. My bakery owner is happy. But then I start showing this to my other, stakeholders. Maybe a customer wants to keep track of all the the supplies that come into the bakery store each morning, and they want to see a dashboard, and they want to see this in a desktop app. And I'm like, I thought the browser went everywhere. What happened to the browser being ubiquitous? I mean, it runs everywhere, but somebody old like me wants to see it in a desktop app. Or maybe the bakery has a distributor who has, field people who want to deliver things to my bakery each morning, and they want to see stuff in a mobile app, right? Mm-hmm. So I have a, web app here. How do I make it go native? So that's where I start looking around. And the first thing I get to is what's called React Native. And I've heard big things about this. This is for, React developers to bring your apps to native world. So I'm like, okay, I'm sold. I start reading. And then I start realizing that, oh, hold on, this is not quite what I started with, right? Because now they're talking about doing
this
kind
is
of
a whole other library. Yeah.
This is a whole other thing, because now you're mapping my UI to native UI components, right? So here they are doing like an image view, they're doing a scroll view. And so I cannot just like reuse my web UI without reconfiguring a bunch of things and then dealing with responsiveness. And then how do I get to the APIs? Because what if I wanted to do like a camera or a GPS or a geolocation, some other sensor on my mobile device? Mm-hmm. And then I keep reading more. And then I see that they're pointing me to another framework as if, Vite and Next and other things were not enough. This is Expo. So this is a whole other way to even start, which I don't want to do, right? So as the old person who once, came from a .NET background, my answer is what's called the web view. So what I'm talking about is this framework called .NET MAUI. Again, color me biased, but this is a .NET framework, evolution of .NET going cross-platform. So you can write .NET for all types of mobile apps, iOS, Android, and desktop apps. So things like, Windows, Mac, and Linux. But for web, you will do Blazor or React or Angular, any of those other things. But included in this is a very nice web view. So what a web view is essentially a browser within whichever device that you're running on without the Chrome. So without all the decorations, so I can just render my web UI in a browser, in an app. And I do get access to the full native API stack. So if I wanted to get to specific things on my mobile device, I can from .NET code, from my JavaScript or TypeScript code. So it is a native app, but it's just rendering web UI content. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So I was trying to see if I can take this and put it in a native app. And that's where, so one of the first things is like, this is Next.js React app. So you saw me do npm install, right? And then you saw me do npm run dev, which behind the scenes brings up Node.js, because that's the runtime, that's the bootstrapping. The moment I put this in an iOS or an Android app, I don't have Node.js, because .NET MAUI runs on .NET. It doesn't run on Node.js. So I need this flattened out. I need this, stripped off everything else. I need this static. So I looked up the docs, and it looks like Next.js, this is from their docs. They're saying, just go ahead and put this one thing in there, right? So go look into your Next.js config, and we're going to do output export. That's all, right? So let's find my Next.js config. Here's that. I'm going to go in here, enter that, right? That's all I need. I don't need a comma. Yeah. Then I have to do, so let's go look at the file system first. So here's the desktop file system. Here's KRF. Here's my app. Right now it's got node modules, packages, source, nothing else, right? Mm-hmm. So let's go do, I think it's called npx next build, right? Let's check the docs here for a second. I think it's the next build that they're doing. So essentially, it's doing a build, and it's going to give me things in a static way. Okay, so next build, go. Creating an optimized production build. So essentially, this is going to flatten out everything, including my dependencies like KendoReact that I have in there, and it's going to give me static things that I can host on AWS or Azure or any of the things. Again, it's doing things that I don't understand, linting and generating static packages, whatever. Okay, so it's done. It's saying it's done. So let's go back to, where was it? So now, see, this is the new folder that we just created. So this is the out folder. So this is all of my stuff, including favicons and index.html, all my stuff. So hold on to that. So now we're going to close this. And see, I will do CLI because it is nice sometimes. I can do this from VS Code as well, but it's quicker. So let's see, where am I? I want to go into, I was on desktop. So let's go into desktop. We're going to make a new directory. Did you even know, Catherine, that I knew these Linux commands? So let's do krf native, right? So KendoReact native.
Just so show off now. Yeah.
I'm sure. So let's go in here. So now, coming from my background, I'm going to do a .NET app, right? So I'm going to do a .NET new. What if you show me a list of all the things? That's going to bring up, 1,000 templates that I have, which I don't need. But the one that I need is this one here, Maui with Blazor. So essentially what I'm saying is, give me a .NET Maui app with Blazor, although we didn't do Blazor, but that's okay. So let's do a .NET new Maui with Blazor. All right. Look how fast, like our templating is quick. Okay,
that was much faster.
So let's go open this up in VS Code. So what you get once you do that build is a full-on .NET app, right? And this is cross-platform, runs everywhere on Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android. Everything is done, except it is a native app. So you will see that it's got CS Proj. So it has things like I can run on .NET this, and this. I can, I can have, this is my XAML, again, old school. You don't need to look at this. But what it's doing here is bringing in that web view that I need so I can render my KendoReact components, because it's actually bringing in some web stuff in it. So here is index.html. This is what the Blazor developers want to use if they are to render a Blazor app inside of a native shell. This is the div inside of which to render everything. This web view is what brings in kind of a JS .NET interop, so .NET and JavaScript can talk to each other. Oh, I'm looking at the time here. We are a little over an hour, so give me another maybe 2 minutes here. I'll try to swap this out. So what I want to do is not do Blazor, right? Because Catherine told me that React is cool and that's how I should roll. So I'm just going to rename this file, right? So that's my Blazor index file. So I don't want to use that. So what I will do is now go back into my folder. Here is desktop. Here is my KendoReact app. Let's go to out. And I am just going to copy the whole thing. So everything that was flattened out, copy that whole thing out, right? Perfect. Now let's go into KendoReact native and root, and I am just going to paste that whole thing. So which is my React app, right? Now it's done. So now if I look at this index.html, which is Blazor's, I'm not using that. I am using this index.html, which is the thing that you cannot read, because there is KendoReact made with love and Next.js. This is not meant to be human readable because it's all flattened and static, right? But this is referenced from my main page.xaml. So notice how it's saying, hey, that's the index.html. This is pointing to some, Blazor routing, which I also don't need because I'm just pointing it to index.html. So at this point, fingers crossed, it's showing me that I can run on this Mac and I can run on iOS or Android and other things. Let's do a Mac and let's do a build. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting something. No, I think that's should be all right because I'm swapping in the index file. That's all, and all my dependencies should be already. If npx the next build did its job, then everything should be in there.
Yeah, Fuel's giving you a little crap in the comments here.
Mavi Blazor Launcher. Yes, essentially it is. It is a fancy browser, but it's a smart one because it knows that I'm running on a Mac, so it gives me WK WebView. If I'm running this on iOS, it's going to give me WebKit. If I run this on Android, I get what's it called, the Chromium one. So here's your app.
That's
See?
Crazy. That is nuts.
This is a React app. Included in it are all the grids and exactly what you saw on the web. Everything works, right? So it is functional. And it is also, now we chose Bootstrap. So I think this might be this one's it's trying to do some responsiveness. So I mean, I'm not saying this is perfect. You're going to have to listen to some CSS media queries, or in fact, .NET will give you the the APIs as well, so you can listen to window size changes and adjust your UI accordingly. But there is your KendoReact.
That's amazing.
Written for the web with all free components, now working on desktop and now working on iOS or Android, because it's the same app essentially. That's just packaged up as iOS packages, Android packages, Windows, and Mac.
But that makes it so much easier to maintain than having to build it in React and in React Native and
and again, I'm not saying that you don't do React Native. Just understand that it's a very different world, because now you are having to recreate the app in Expo. You're going to have to refactor your code base to pull out reusable pieces of UI. And here's a web app. If you pick the right responsiveness and adaptive rendering, you have it working. It's a browser, but you're rendering it inside of a native app shell. And all of my free KendoReact components just work, and it's all flattened out. It's all here. Here's my grid HTML. Again, it's not meant to be human readable. It's got all the styling. Everything is right in there, and it just works. So yeah, browser launcher or whatever you call it, works. Okay. I'm gonna stop here, but let's bring this window back so I can look at you straight. Okay. So what have we covered so far? KendoReact is free for all, free as in free, right?
Oh, amazing. Yeah, completely free.
No strings attached. Go build apps. We are hoping that we are giving away half of the library that's been professionally built and maintained so far, with the hopes that for most of you, this is enough. And so go build amazing apps with KendoReact and change the world. If you do see that you need support, you need those extra things that are usually in enterprise apps is where you need those extreme data visualizations. You need every bit of performance and features from your grid, or those hard-hitting things like, I mean, I am never going to need a scheduler and a Gantt chart in a spa bakery app, right? So that's the point.
Right.
Yeah. So
go build something cool and maybe even win $3,000 while you're at it.
Oh, do you have the link to that? Do you want to post that the chat room, the DEV.to challenge? That's still going.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if you just go to DEV.to, they've got it right at the top of the page. But I'll grab the link. Yeah. I can do that. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We covered a lot, and hopefully enough to help you guys get started and feel excited about what you can build now with these cool.
There's the challenge. So I mean, we are live on our usual mediums like YouTube and Twitch and LinkedIn. But hi to all of you folks who watched us on DEV.to. Hopefully, you see that this is exciting, and we are in this for the long run. We are not going to just let KendoReact free be abandoned anytime or anywhere. No. This is us maintaining it and saying, we take ownership, you use it, we will maintain it. Yeah. So go build amazing apps, win some money, and thank you so much for joining. Hopefully, Catherine, I didn't, turn off too many young people with my desktop apps, but
I think it was pretty cool. I think it's pretty nifty. So,
okay.
All right, folks. We'll catch you later.
Folks, that's it from us. Yeah, thank you. We'll see you around on the next stream.